Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the CFL Weekly Show, powered or presented by Royal Retros, your number one stop shop for all retro CFL gear and your official supplier of CFLPA merchandise. It is Labor Day weekend, and it is Canadian football is in full swing as of last week, with Usports officially kicking off and Canada West coming up on this, kicking off this week. How you guys feeling? How was your week? How did you enjoy last weekend's slate of CFL games?
Coach, you want to go first?
BC fucked it up for me.
Don't worry, Coach. We're gonna get to that.
Oh yeah,
Imagine being a fan of the team, coach.
Ugh,
secondary is garbage right now.
ugh.
You don't even have to single out the secondary. But
Whole defense.
if coach doesn't want to speak on how he's feeling, not gonna lie, boys, I'm a little bit bittersweet that it's Labor Day already. Like, where the heck did the summer go, man? I feel like I didn't even really I enjoyed it. Obviously, had a lot of fun, but man, we only probably get another. Blake, I mean, for us specifically, another probably 2 or 3 weeks worth of nice weather. Then it's gonna be raining and dark all the time. And I hate kind of that time of year. Other than that means it's sports are on, but it's a little bit bittersweet, man. It is. I agree with Coach. It is friggin' smoking. So it is kind of nice to enjoy the last little bit of the nice remaining days that we will have, but it is a little bit bittersweet for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've always had the kid mindset that summer's over after this weekend. I know truly there's another 2.5, 3 weeks, but it's as soon as the kids go back to school, I feel like that summer's over. You got high school football starting up literally the first week. I mean, I know, Coach, you've already practiced. Have you guys played a game yet or no?
Our first game is next Thursday.
Yeah, so we got game, same thing next Friday, and once you get into high school football and past Labor Day, summer's over, it's gone. But but yeah, it's
I'm excited for it.
last week the slate of games started really good, and then just went to shit after that. Specifically the Saturday games, but I know we'll get to that. So
No, I mean, I think we're gonna. I had my meltdown a couple weeks ago. Coaches had his meltdown this year. I think we're in store for Blake's meltdown
yeah,
after last week's performance of the BC Lions. I mean, I'm just gonna straight up say it. Travis Harris let me down like he always did when he was with Ottawa. It was a horrible game from the Rough Riders, but we'll get into that. I just want to quickly go over. Do you guys have any of you guys have a chance to catch any of the U Sports action?
how about
This
that
weekend?
Western and Queens game? Woo-hoo!
Yeah, the 4 OT quad.
The
Shane, was it a catch or no catch?
controversy, yeah.
Yeah, catch or no catch? What do you think, Shane?
I don't know. Every angle I've seen, it cuts off the.
See, I've seen an angle, and I forget. I would give them credit if I had it, but I forget who had the angle. There's a sideline shot circulating that obviously was not on OUA TV, and he definitely taps the heel inbounds, but it looks like when he comes to ground, the ball moves.
And
So
that's the thing is that and then it gets covered by all of the Queens players,
yes,
so you don't
so
actually see the end of the play.
to me, I think they got the call right because someone put it really well. I believe it was on my Instagram, but someone put it really well on Instagram where the ground cannot cause a fumble. So if he had possession and then fell to the ground, that's a touchdown. But the ground can cause an incompletion.
Yeah.
So with the ball moving, I think the refs got the call right.
Yeah, and I think
It's also hindsight's 20/20 for the refs too, right? They're calling it in real time versus now everyone's going back, slowing things down. So I feel like as close of a call as that is, the refs did get pretty close to the right, ruling.
Yeah, and I mean OUA had their own issues with the broadcasting.
The website,
Mm.
the entire website.
They got blasted too.
Usports, the entire Usports website was also a mess with OUA. It was a gong show of the first week from an OUA perspective. RSEQ did really well, ASU did well, and hopefully we'll see Canada West do well this week in terms of the Usports website updating and providing proper scores. instead of a negative 14-point quarter from Queens. Like, I really don't understand it. But to run through the scores of Usports real quick, ASU, St. Mary's Huskies beat the Acadia Axemen 35-7. No one really expected anything different. On Friday night, and then Bishops handed Mount Allison a 43-7 loss, which I believe it was 14. It was actually 43-14 what both teams posted, so that hasn't been updated on the Usports website. But Bishops 43-14 over Mount Allison, and then McGill beats Sherbrooke 38-22 on Friday, and Concordia loses 41-14 to Montreal for RSEQ. Now, OUA, this is first time in OUA history, York and Toronto win their opening week matchups.
Yeah, and it's the first time since 2012, 13 years ago, that York, TU, and the Argos all won on the same day.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the U of T quarterback threw for 600 yards?
Yeah,
It was
Carlson
like
got
five. I thought it
absolutely
was
annihilated.
547, but yeah.
It got corrected today apparently. Because
Really?
Persevere just put out a post like probably a few hours ago when I got off work, and it's like OUA corrects his game stat. That was like, there's no way.
Oh yeah,
That's
he literally
crazy. That is absolutely. I have a soft spot for U of T this year because I have a couple. I mean, one I'll call him a buddy, and one
New
that
West.
used to play on the high axe. Yeah, Tony is one of the quarterbacks on TU, and then I have a buddy from here locally, like in Delta, that went to TU after going down to the States to play prep ball last year. He graduated from Seacom 2 years ago, so he didn't play last week. He was out with a hamstring issue, unfortunately, but I have a soft spot for TU, so to see them win week one made my heart happy.
Yeah. Yeah, York beats Keegan Hall, goes up against his former team in week one, beats them 31-24 as York beats McMaster in week one. And then you have Queens and Western. Queens hasn't beat Western since I think it was 2012.
Mm-hmm.
They lost like 15 in a row to Western. So, and it's like you had that.
I believe that includes playoffs too, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It includes the very viral no from last year's quarterfinal matchups where they walked it off at the last couple of seconds of the game. And then Ottawa beats Waterloo 27-12. Toronto beats Carleton 42-23, and then Laurier beats Guelph 33-28. So that wraps up the Usports side of things. Let's jump right into the CFL action. With Thursday night, Winnipeg against Montreal. Winnipeg wins 26-13. What do you guys? Who wants to go first on this one?
I'll go first.
Are we on the Ottawa game now? Or the Montreal game? Sorry.
Yeah, we're on to Montreal, right?
Yeah,
We're on to
Winnipeg, Montreal. Go first.
No, my screen's cutting out. But yeah, Coach, you go first. Go ahead.
In the first, it felt like it was a game split in half. That's what I saw. I thought Morgan was doing really well at quarterback. He took way too many chances downfield. Way too many chances. Brady had a really good game. They was leaning on him heavy, and that's kind of what they have to do with their offense since Dembski's going to be out. I liked how Brady was. He was just controlling the game. Colaros, Winnipeg's offense in general, their ability to extend plays, immaculate. That's what won them the game, in my opinion. I really didn't get to see much from their defense except for a couple interceptions. It was really good, but it was a ho-hum type of game.
Go ahead, Blake.
Yeah, no, I would agree a lot with what Coach said. I mean, as you guys know by now, I listened to a lot of this game on the radio, and Sirius generally has the home team broadcast. That's what they play on their app, and for the most part, like going into halftime, Montreal kept it close, but it was just like the things that you can't do with what is now your fourth string quarterback that eventually did Montreal in. They turned the ball over. I think it was like 4 times, 5 times maybe. By the end of the night, 3 picks, I believe, for James Morgan. They took too many penalties, and the Alouettes, just what has plagued them ever since Davis Alexander really went out. They just couldn't finish drives. Like there was a few drives where they did well to get down deep into Winnipeg territory, pardon me, and then they just couldn't finish the drive. They had to settle for field goals, except for the one Tyler Snead touchdown, and Winnipeg just did Winnipeg things. Like I still, I know like they're going into their matchup with the Riders, who didn't look good last week, but like I don't know what to think of Winnipeg, because like they're 6-4 overall. They're 0-3 against the Calgary Stampeders, 6-1 against the rest of the CFL. But like, are they really that good? Like I don't know. Like it's just Colaros, and like Oliveira is arguably in the running for MLP again, but Colaros is average. They have their own injury issues. Like it, this Labor Day and Banjo Bowl, it's gonna prove a lot to a lot of people on whether the Winnipeg Blue Bomber, like all 4 teams in the West, really, like who's for real and who's not. Like I think you can truly say that the Stampeders are for real, but the Riders still have questions. Shane, you mentioned it last week's show. Like coming out of the Banjo Bowl, you theoretically there could, not that there will, but there could be a 3-way tie for first in the West.
I mean, coming out
Yeah.
of
Go
the
ahead, Shane.
Banjo Bowl, they'll be like Calgary. If they win next week, they win this week against Edmonton on Monday. If Winnipeg can pop a win on Sunday against Saskatchewan, Calgary takes over first in the West, and they'll both be 8-3.
I was meaning more so like there could be a 3-way tie if Calgary and Edmonton split, but
That would be. I'm all for the chaos there. So that'd be fun.
But anyway,
Embrace
sorry, Cole, I cut you off. Go ahead, buddy.
embrace the chaos for sure. I mean, not much to talk about from Montreal's standpoint. I think once we saw who was starting, James Morgan, I mean, all the implications that are around their quarterback situation with bringing guys in and having to kind of get up to speed very fast. I feel like the only positive was probably that big shout out to Batman, obviously, as Blake and I are aware, but Alex Hollins was able to get off and kind of, I would imagine, almost not like prove himself again, but I believe he was over 100 yards. I don't know if officially after the game, but caught a few deep balls, so it was nice to see him kind of get the ball rolling in the right direction for himself this season. Other than that, though, Winnipeg, I kind of agree with what Blake said. Like, I don't know what to think of them. Obviously, you have to kind of have to no shown for the last. I think it's been 6 weeks. No Dempsey last week. Obviously, I think Dempsey they're probably likely going to get back this week. They're losing bodies. I think what was the other one? Jared Stern? He's not going to. I don't think.
Dembski and Stern left the game, and Strebler had to play wide receiver.
Yeah, so there is definitely some situations that maybe aren't going their way, but at the same time, I feel like it's a weird feeling on Winnipeg this year, and like you kind of said, I just agree with Blake. Like the next few weeks are going to tell a lot, right? Of if they're able to get one over Saskatchewan, I feel like it's kind of okay, maybe Winnipeg is for real, and they can hang with some of the the Saskatchewans and Calgarys in the West.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, and I mean things are a lot more interesting for Winnipeg with some of the recent NFL cuts. Terrio Wilson, and obviously El Guzman being cut, and some kind of throwing a little water or a little waves into their water to see what happens post Labor Day. We've already seen my Polk is coming back to Toronto after being released from Atlanta, so we'll see what happens there.
Joe was cut by the Colts too, so the Riders could add him back.
Yep, Coach would be happy about that.
No.
No.
I mean, kind of got it. If it wasn't for this loss, I would say will be all right. But for depth wise, I understand. So I ain't too picky.
I kind of agree with Coach though, because who's the his name's escaping me at this exact moment, but
Keaton
is
Johnson.
it Schaefer Baker that's like can't even crack the lineup right now?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it yeah, Key and Schaefer Baker can't even crack the lineup, so why would you want to make that receiver room even more crowded? But
Hey.
Yes.
never know.
It's going to be interesting, that's for sure. But yeah, moving on to Friday night. Edmonton, Ottawa.
Mm.
I mean, I'm not going to be, I'm not overly upset. I picked Edmonton last week, so like I kind of figured this was going to happen. I figured this outcome was going to be the way it was.
Yeah, thanks for the free game, Coach. But
Yeah,
Fuck.
thank God. But man, this team cannot just stop shooting themselves in the foot. The league touchdown, the punt return touchdown was basically the difference in this game. Again, you can't surrender 17 points and then expect to win many games. It's not realistic. Tommy Condell needs to go. That offense is god awful. But I think it's so apparent that it's just the play calling at this point. Like the situational play calling is so bad.
It's predictable.
It's predictable. It's head scratching because like even when he tries to go off beat, the situation that he's calling and like he's calling in like a quick screen or a quick out on 2nd and 10. What are you doing here? This isn't 4 downs where you okay cool you got maybe 5 yards and then you can go again, right? So I hopefully they can regroup. Maybe Drew Brown comes back after the bye against BC. But this season's a wash. Like this was their chance these last 2 weeks. I said it before. I said it 3 shows ago, where Montreal you're in a situation where you can take second from Montreal. Montreal lost their 2 games instead of Ottawa winning their 2 games, where they had a chance to win. They shot the bed, and this, in my opinion, I know we all love to say the season doesn't officially start until Labor Day. Their season's done. Like their season's a wash.
Damn.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. But Cole, Shane, you or Coach, you want to go on this game before I go?
Yeah,
Um,
I liked what I saw from Cody. I liked what I saw from Edmonton. They were moving the ball downfield. They were fluent. They were just making things happen. Defensively, they were getting to Dustin Crump. It was getting ridiculous at one point. Even though they got Ottawa got a couple points on the board, I was surprised they went for a field goal and cut it to I think it was 6 or 7.
Oh, we're
And they
gonna
didn't
get to that. Don't worry. Don't worry.
and they didn't gamble. They didn't take a. There was no riverboat on that one. Like I didn't like that. But yeah, Condell got to go. So
Cole,
Shane,
you can go. I'll go last.
no, go ahead, Blake. You said you want to talk. What do you want to talk about? Some situational football?
Well, not necessarily in this game, in the next game, but yeah, it
Oh,
was just
I see. Oh, about $1 Pierce. I get
yeah,
you.
yeah.
oh
Yeah,
Getting a
Just
you're
little,
God,
the next game. You're coming
get,
up. You're the next
I
game.
know, I know, I know. So
getting a
so no,
little,
no, no.
getting,
We'll talk about this game first. Like it was
getting a
just
little
like
ahead of ourselves, are
it
we,
was
Blake? But
another.
anyways, I don't have much to say from an Ottawa perspective. I said last week I get Shane's pain now after picking Ottawa last week and them absolutely just shitting all over themselves. And as Shane put it pretty perfectly, they basically can't get out of their own way on a weekly basis. And it's, I would imagine as a fan, it's super frustrating because, like, when you are in, say, December, January, when maybe Shane tends to maybe like go back, you start to look at some things, how we did in this area, when you start to get like ready for free agency, and you're like, man, like a lot of these games came down to like 4 or 5 plays. We didn't get it to go in our way and cost us like it's like I would imagine similar to like being an Elks fan, right? Where like in the last number of years they just find ways to beat themselves. Maybe not to the embarrassment that the Elks have found ways to do it, but it's like those like small plays in like maybe the first, second, and third quarter that maybe you like forget or gloss over because like it's kind of recency bias, right, with some of the plays that happened in the fourth quarter. But some of those like smaller underlying plays that say you Dustin Crum throws a high ball on 2nd and 7 and they have to punt and Edmonton comes back and scores, right, and it's like, well, man, if they were able to stay on the field there, it could be a completely different ball game. So I feel like those are the things that are like super shitty for Ottawa. But for Edmonton, like kind of coach said, like it's good to see Cody somewhat putting them in like manageable situations, efficient situations as an offense. I think that's been helping them as an offense the last few games. But I'm curious to see how they can go forward. They're in the hunt now. Like it's not a matter of like talking about, oh, if Edmonton gets another couple wins, they're right in the hunt now. So it's like they have a huge opportunity playing Calgary. It's in Calgary this week, I believe. Is it?
Yeah.
So, go on the road. It's kind of like everybody versus us mentality. Stack another win, and then like who knows what happens from there? Like it's crazy as it sounds of like Edmonton turning around coming out of Labor Day would be crazy storyline to follow. Especially because it would be kind of how many people like were in maybe the off season like, oh, like how long before we see Cody? How long before we see Cody? And there's of course like me probably being one of them, like, oh, like hopefully Trey's the guy that's the QB1 for the rest of the season. But Cody's proven, man. Like,
Imagine what would have happened if he was. They'd probably be 1-9.
yeah, honestly, imagine they started Cody from the beginning. They'd probably be a pretty
They'd be
decent
ahead of
team
the
right now.
Lions, that's for sure.
But yeah, this was an interesting one. I was kind of coming back and forth watching this game, but if nobody else has anything, Blake, we can get to or
No, no.
I guess you haven't really said.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll talk about this game first. I thought I agree with Shane that like this game turned around. When the Elks, I believe it was they. Shane, do you have the game summary up there? They took a 3-0 lead, correct?
Yeah, it was like
Yeah, they took a 3-0 lead. Both teams kind of punted back and forth, and then the Elks went down, scored a touchdown, and I believe Ottawa went 2-out on the next series, and it was that punt that Devon Leake took back to the house. As Shane said, at that point it's 17-0, and the game's kind of over at that point. Like I know the Red Blacks got an interception, they turned it into a touchdown. But then the game management aspect comes into it because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was it a 6-point game or a 3-point game at one point?
it was a six
Was it?
point game.
Yeah, it was
'Cause it was
17-11 late in the
yeah,
second quarter.
it was 20-14 heading into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but I'm talking about right before halftime. I believe it was
Oh,
17
it was a
11.
14 point. It was 20-4. It was 13. It was 20-7.
Okay, so the Elks had a 10-point lead at 17-7.
20-7.
The Red Blacks punted to them with like 30 seconds left, and they allowed the Elks 3 plays to get into field goal range. Like that's an easy field goal for the Elks, and especially at the end of the game where, and I know that you guys would echo the same sentiment. Prayers up to Daniel Agpoko. I know the Red Blacks released a statement that he was moving all his extremities and he was awake in the hospital. I know he was released the next day. I don't know anything further and not much coming out of the Red Blacks because, of course, they're on the bye week this week. But at the point of that injury, it was 27-20. If you take away that field goal right at the end of the first half, it's a 24-20 game. If the Red Blacks get a stop, they can go down and have a walk-off field goal. But instead, the injury happens. Of course, never like to see that in football. The Elks convert the ensuing second down, go down and kick a field goal, and it's game over at 30-20. It's just, as all three of you have kind of said at different points, the Red Blacks just can't get out of their own way. Like I put this to my other group chat, but the CFL is in general is so weird this year because the Red Blacks are 3-8, the Stampeders are 7-3. Yet 2 of the 3 Red Blacks wins came at the hands of the Stampeders. And I know one was in a kind of a monsoon and the other one was with PJ Walker, but like you still can't take those wins away. They're still wins. So it's just the CFL as a whole is so weird this year.
The defining factor for the Red Blacks this season will be their inability to turn turnovers into 7 points.
Mm-hmm.
They are fourth in turnovers forced with 22. They are third last with 41 points off of turnovers. Only BC and Edmonton have fewer points off of turnovers. BC only has 15 turnovers, and Edmonton only has 13. Calgary and Hamilton are first at 26 and 25, and Hamilton has 67, and Calgary has 64. That will be the foundation of Ottawa's misfortune this year. Is your defense has played well enough to giving you opportunities to win games and giving you extra possessions. You know, you're basically getting 2 extra possessions a game based off the turnovers.
Yeah, I was gonna say
and you're
that's about.
leaving points on the board. You're not going to win many games like that. So,
Have the Redblacks played 10 or 11 games so far this year, Shane?
11. They're 3 and 8.
So yeah, the 22 turnovers. That's exactly right. Like two
Two
turnovers a
extra
game.
possessions.
Yeah, and they
You
just
get points there. It's it's 14 points a game. Basically lost.
yeah.
So, but yeah, let's jump right into Saturday's game. You know what, Blake?
Yeah.
The floor is yours on this one, buddy. Just if you didn't know, Toronto beat the crap out of BC 52. It's like 28.
34, but not that it made that much difference.
And 52 to 34, and just BC looked an absolute mess. So, Blake, go right ahead, have the floor. Cole, you can talk after him.
I did 45 minutes post game, brother. I've moved on from this one. My thoughts are out there on the internet.
Yeah, no, it was a joke. That's what it was, that the BC Lions played like that on Saturday. It was an absolute joke. The Lions jumped out to a 14-3 lead. Like the Toronto Argonauts got the ball first. They went down. The Lions held them to a field goal, and they were up 3-0. The Lions' very first possession, they scored a touchdown. I believe that was James Butler's first of the game. The Lions forced a punt, one of only 3 on the game. The Argos punted 3 times. And the Lions would go down and score another touchdown. Javon Catoy's first of 2. They were up 14-3. The Argos got the ball back, kicked a field goal. It was 14-6. The Lions the Lions weren't able to get any points. 14-6. The Argos got the ball, scored a touchdown, got the 2-point conversion, made it 14-14. And then from there, it just really went downhill from the Lions. Like Nathan Rourke threw a pick 6, 21-14. The Lions would get that touchdown back. But then before halftime, the Argonauts took the lead 28-21. And this was a whole team loss. Like, yeah, I would say 75% of the blame goes on the defense. But the old saying, you win as a team, you lose as a team, that doesn't stop with the players. That's the coaches as well. Like, Buck Pierce made 3 calls that I do not understand at all. Like, late in the second quarter, 30 seconds left, you have the ball on your 30. The Argos took a too many men penalty. So you get a free 10 yards. And the Lions decided to kneel it out anyways. It's like, what are you doing? You're clearly in a shootout. Your defense hasn't stopped a nosebleed all game. Try and get as many points as possible. So that's how the first half ended, 28-21. Then the Lions get the ball again to start the second half. They drive down to the Argonauts' 3-yard line where they get stopped twice. It's third down. You're on the 3-yard line. And Buck Pierce decides to kick a field goal. What happens right after that? The Argos go and they score a touchdown. So then the Lions get the ball. They drive. They go down. They're at the 1. They get stopped on first down. They get stopped on second down. They're like, you know what, guys? We're at the 1-yard line. We can't afford to kick another field goal. Let's give it to James Butler, who scores. They missed the 2-point convert. It's 35-30. What happens 2 plays later? Jake Herslow gets behind the secondary, scores a touchdown. So the Lions are once again down 2 possessions. They drive, they drive, they drive. They get the ball to the 7 this time. You're down 2 possessions. What happens? Buck Pierce decides again that he wants to kick a field goal. So now it's 42-33. And of course, after kicking a field goal, the Argos get the ball on their own 40. The very next play, Herslow gets the ball thrown to him in double coverage. 2 Lions were there, and not one of them puts their arms up to knock down the ball, intercept it, anything. It's a touchdown, and the game is over. But it didn't stop there for the Lions. They only gave up one more field goal after that, but just the penalties, the inept play, really. Like the Lions, off one of the 3 punts that they eventually forced, they ended up losing about 2 minutes off the clock because they had stopped the Argonauts 2 first downs before that. And Ronald Kent decides he's going to run his mouth and get a misconduct penalty where the Argonauts get a free 1st down. What are you doing running your mouth? You've given up 49 points at this point. Get your ass off the field and go play another down. Like you have nothing to run your mouth about. You were absolutely terrible all game. The Lions offense, like they put up 34 points. That should be good enough to win a game. To give up 52 to the Argonauts is absolutely unacceptable. Like you want to talk about being a Grey Cup team? No, you're nowhere close. You are closer, as proven by this game, to the Toronto Argonauts and the Ottawa Redblacks than you are the Saskatchewan Roughriders. How about you worry about making the playoffs first before you talk about winning a Grey Cup?
I'm so proud of you, Blake. I'm so damn proud of you. God damn.
That was awesome. That was
I know
awesome.
how it feels.
He actually kind of
I know
held
how
it
it
in. That
feels.
was Blake. Good job, buddy.
Also,
That was well said too. Honestly,
can
Without
we
saying a
talk?
single curse word.
Yeah, I wasn't that
he's
nice.
fired up though. I love it. That's so sick.
Look at him. Look at him,
Honestly,
a
though.
happy little kid. Look at him.
Can we
Honestly,
talk
that's
about how
kind
the
of
QB sneak has ruined football?
Oh my
Huh?
gosh.
yeah. I mean,
Like,
definitely.
what's the point of having a
Yeah.
power back like stand back and Butler if you're just going to quarterback sneak it every time you have a yard to go?
They have a D lineman who is a converted, or sorry, they have a fullback who's a converted D lineman.
Yeah, Riley Pickett. Like,
That's
give him the
amazing.
ball.
Like they just did it with I couldn't understand that. Like they just saw what happened with David Mackey. Never taken a snap before in his life under center. Fullback, a guy that'll just go get you a yard or two. And instead, it's like, no, let's go with Jeremiah Masoli. Let's go with Jeremiah Masoli, who hasn't worked out at all. Whenever he picks up a short yard situation, it's because like he literally either guessed the right gap or he fell forward just enough for the yards. But not to pile on too much more, because as I said, I kind of talked about this one, um, probably longer than I even wanted to on Saturday after this game. But yeah, it's definitely nice that we're going into a bye and don't have to worry about the Lions absolutely shitting the bed, because as we all I think agreed going into this one, kind of expected the Lions to win, especially to get out to the lead. But for me, Blake kind of it was the one that maybe was the least egregious, I guess you could say, like of the Buck Pierce mishaps, and Blake referenced it of saying like when uh, the Argos ended up getting a touchdown, it was 14-12. They ended up getting the 2 point conversion to make it 14-14. It came off of a Buck Pierce challenge that kept the Argos on
Oh,
the
yeah.
field, and not that it was necessarily like egregious, I guess, as I said. By the letter of the law, it probably was pass interference or illegal contact on Patrice Rene, who had bumped his receiver. Now, whether you wanted to argue how hard it was, as I probably would agree, it definitely wasn't the hardest push. But by the letter of the law, that's probably pass interference 9 times out of 10, especially when you see the receiver go to the ground and the ball's in within the catchable range. So he obviously challenges that one, loses his challenge right away. And then I believe to kind of piggyback off that one, in the second half on the Lions' first drive of the second half, he ends up taking, I believe, his last timeout of the second half. So for the remainder
Yeah,
of
because
the
the play
half,
clock was running down, and they only had the one.
yeah. So for the remainder of the second half, they had no timeouts a minute into the second half. So not to say that I'm totally out on Buck Pierce. This is not what I wanted it to sound like. But clearly, Buck Pierce is going through his transitional periods as a first-year head coach, where he's learning the situational side of football, where you're not only an offensive coordinator anymore, where Mike O'Shea doesn't have that responsibility to have challenges. That's on you, right? And whatever his system is for having, a challenge coach or whatever you want to call it up in the booth or on the sideline with them, and they go through a little iPad and they do it quickly. Like I said, this is kind of a transitional thing for him, and something that I'm not trying to say like I'm totally out on Buck Pierce, because I know there's a lot of people that are really pissed off, maybe more so pissed off with like Mike Benavides and that side of the thing. But like this is probably a little bit to be expected from a first year head coach, right? Of these growing pains, of these situational things. The only thing that I don't think is forgivable is the the refusal to go in short yardage situations when like that's not even like a coaching thing. That's just like a feel thing. Like your defense, not only like all game they hadn't got to stop, all season when it mattered they haven't got to stop. So like there was no reference to go off of on the 3 yard line, inside the 10 yard line both times to kick field goals. Like you might as well turn it over on downs and hope to God that they have to go 100 and whatever 7 yards, 104 yards, opposed to getting the ball from the 30-yard line every time after you make a good field goal. So those are the things I think aren't forgivable, and hopefully he learns from them and is able to. It's something that we're probably not going to unfortunately see until like next year when he gets in these situations even more. Right? Maybe we see it a little bit later in the season, but by that time it could be too late. Right? Where like those situations don't matter. So I think unfortunately he has definitely shown his blemishes as a first year head coach. Not only in this game, there's been a few situational mistakes, not only in like the short yardage situation specifically, right? Like the refusal to kind of go away from, obviously they start with Chase Bryce, they kind of quickly adapt to Jeremiah Masoli, and then they haven't really adapted from there. And it's like, dude, like you have to, I feel like as a coach, like adapt, game plan, adjust as a coach. Like, and I know he has a lot going on, so like this always is the conversation with people that have the dual tags, right? And I'm sure me and Blake will have this conversation this offseason. Does Buck Pierce ever relinquish the title of offensive coordinator, or does he always? Is that a hand in hand thing? If he's going to be the head coach, he's going to call his own plays, or does he ever entertain the idea of somebody else coming in, maybe an apprentice of some sort of to like run his system, or is it like he has to learn that like there's a ton more work than just being an offensive coordinator because you're the head coach now. You have all that responsibility that Mike O'Shea took off your plate for a number of years, and even with a veteran defensive coordinator like James Younger in Winnipeg, right, where he had no responsibility outside of just the offense. So that's where Buck definitely is going to have to look in the mirror this offseason and try to get better.
I'm curious on how much the play calling and being the OC is directly impacted by the fact that BC is still paying for Campbell for a year.
Yeah, that coaching cap, because like if it wasn't for the coaching cap, I guarantee. I mean, I don't know why he was hired in the first place, but if it wasn't for the coaching cap, I guarantee you Mike Benavides is out of a job. Like
it's gonna be like I think the call you're on mute.
All good. Was it Lions Den or was it Roar Report? Like that tweet, like, "Oh, it's Monday morning. Why hasn't Benavides been fired yet?"
yeah, it was like someone responded and was like, "Dude, he ain't getting fired." Like
Yeah. Well, it's true though. It's just they can't.
Yeah, I mean,
I
it's
mean, they could.
again, same thing with Dice in Ottawa. You signed a year extension before the year started. I don't see him getting fired. That coaching cap is the worst thing the CFL ever brought in.
yep. Hopefully they get rid of it this offseason, but
Hopefully. Anyone else have anything to say about this game, Coach?
I don't got a damn thing to say. It is what it is. They got to have
Yo,
coaching.
okay. Honestly,
Coach, we're gonna have
last
a
thing,
lot to say in a second because we're gonna be talking about the Rough
last
Riders and
Shane,
Stamp
Oh,
game.
I'm ready for that one.
last thing before we get to the next game. I cannot believe the Lions got shit kicked so bad. Chad Kelly was on the sideline saying we put up a 50-piece on y'all and made it look easy. I was like, oh my God. When that video came out the other day, I was like, no fucking way. Chad Kelly is over there chirping, saying we got a 50-piece put up on us. Like, oh my God.
Rightfully deserved, though. When you get 50
Oh,
drop on your head.
totally. But it's like, bro, what the fuck? 'Cause the Argos did a good job. Their social media team. I don't know if you guys saw like James Butler before. He's like, we're gonna paint this shit black. Like we're gonna make this our home game or whatever. And then they of course made a good social media post after. I was like, man, like, fuck, man, this is
Yeah.
the
Do,
L's keep
do you
coming.
guys know
I thought it was a
regular
bye week.
season? Regular season, because of course they did it last year in the East semifinal. Do you guys know the last time the Argos dropped 50 points in a regular season game?
against
No, not
y'all.
off the top of my head.
No, like in general. What? Guess what year, Coach?
2021, 2022.
Nope.
Deep
Shane, you got a guess?
90s.
It was
I
the
think they would-
90s, Cole.
I feel like they would have done.
94.
Maybe they didn't do it during the rookie rate era.
Later than that.
97.
It was the year that the younger three of us were born. I was about a month old. It was October
Yeah, because that would have been the Damon Allen,
1997.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Against Winnipeg, I believe they said.
yeah.
It
'Cause
was
they
the
kinda
last
did.
time they dropped 50 in a regular season game.
Mm.
That
Didn't
is,
Damon Allen put up like 5 touchdowns or something?
yeah, something like that.
Good job, BC.
Like, yeah, it's just. I got my rant out of the way. Let's talk about the
Yeah, that
last
was
game of the
dope.
week.
Good job, Blake. Proud of you, buddy.
Let me see if I can find that game.
You made up for not being on post game with that rant, right there.
Yeah, they didn't. They were damn good that year.
97. Didn't they win the Grey Cup that year?
Yeah, they were a high flying team. They dropped 66 points on Winnipeg.
Yeah, that was the last
And,
time they had
God
scored more than
damn.
50. It was like 66-7.
No, 66 to 25.
Oh, right, okay.
To be fair, they pumped Saskatchewan that year 27-1. Like 2 weeks prior, they beat up 3-week span or 4-week span. We'll do that. Week 9, 10, 11, 12. 27-1 against Saskatchewan. 46-3 against Hamilton. 66-25 against Winnipeg. 34-9 against Hamilton.
Which one was the Labor Day game?
The 43-6.
Jeez. What was they finished what, 15-3 that year and won the Grey Cup?
15-3, yeah.
Mm.
That they pumped Montreal 37-30, and then pumped Saskatchewan on the Grey Cup 47-23.
Jeez. But last game of the week, Stamps Riders.
Go ahead, Coach.
Our offense was so fucking stagnant, and that is going to be the death of us. I seen Dedrick Mills run on us. I seen on our defense. I saw Jalen Philpott have a good game, which Jalen is like that. But damn, like we couldn't. Unlike Blake, I'm gonna cuss. Fuck, man. What? I've been saying it for weeks. We haven't played our best football. If you're going to be a Grey Cup contending team, it doesn't matter what you do to the teams beneath you. It's about the teams that are right next to you. Calgary is a team right next to us, and we've dropped the ball twice against them. And I have nothing to say. Trevor Harris, Shane, I'm starting to believe what you're talking about, but I ain't got no words, man. We're on to Winnipeg. We're just on to Winnipeg, man. God damn.
It's Labor Day.
All right, Bill
Bigger-
Belichick.
Oh, no,
Bigger
it was
and better
Greg Moody was quarterback
Bigger
for
and better.
Toronto that year.
But not to get ahead of myself and not to get ahead of us, but this might be the first year we actually, in a while, we'll actually we're favorites to win
On
both.
Labor Day? No, you're
No, no, no.
usually favorites on Labor Day. It's Banjo Bowl that you're
No,
not.
that's what I'm saying. Labor Day and then Banjo Bowl. We got a chance to.
That's possible.
So I don't know when the last time we won both.
Never.
Damn.
Yeah.
No,
It's been
it has happened. I think it was like 2017, 2018.
Okay, if we can do that.
Yeah, it was like once, and then it was a long time. It's been a long time. You've won like both.
Been a long time, brother.
Favorite.
But again, But again, like we got ran over, we got outplayed, we got beat down in the trenches. Uh, there's no answer. There was no answer for that offense and just their defense too. Their defense, Calgary's defense really didn't like super duper impress me, but they did just enough to make our offense look like shit. So
Yeah. So Bombers have won the last 5 in a row.
Tangibles?
Yeah, the last
Yeah, that sounds
time
about right.
the last time the Rough Riders won 2 in a row was 2011, 2012.
God damn.
2011 was
The
a good year,
Riders weren't
boys.
even that good that year.
Yeah, so they won 4 to 5 from 08 to 2012, and have won 2 since 2013.
Yeah.
Golly.
And, y'all are gonna have to win at least
Yeah,
one
nine
there
and
this year if you want to
only
win the
9 in
Grey
the
Cup.
last 11 Banjo Bowls.
Right.
Imagine they lose both, still win the Grey Cup League.
No, I mean like, but in Winnipeg, they'll have to win at least one game there to win the Grey
Yeah, I
Cup.
see. Yeah, that's fair.
Also, we're talking about that 97 series or 97 season. It was
Yeah,
Doug
pretty
Flutie. It was his last year in the CFL. He put up 5,505 passing yards, 47 touchdowns.
God damn.
And like one
Dude,
interception, right?
It's kind of crazy to
No,
think.
24 interceptions, but
It's kind of
That's pretty
kinda
bad,
crazy to-
actually.
it's kind of crazy.
James
on
Winston, though.
673 attempts. It's actually not that bad. But yeah,
What you were
47
starting to say?
touchdowns.
It's crazy to see like the evolution of like quarterbacks, but yet like if you go back and look at some of the gaudy numbers, like in the NFL, I kind of like look at like the like 2010s with like Breeze, Manning, like Rivers, all those guys, and they're passing for like
Prime Russell.
49,000 yards, 5,000 yards, and it's like today we're getting like 45. Like who was it that was it Geno Smith that led the league? Was it or maybe 2 years ago that he led the
Yeah.
league in passing yards? But
Yeah, there weren't
like
actually that many 5,000 yard passers in the NFL.
what's that? Sure.
There's not many like 5,000 yard passers. in
Yeah,
the
I
NFL.
know. I just mean more like closer to 5,000 than like generally we are now, and even in the CFL, like I feel like we're not as like I feel like gaudy as maybe like the like 2010s too.
Drew
Yeah,
Brees
for
did
sure.
it 5 times, and there's only 1, 2,
Flutie did it how many
3,
times? 5.
5.
Mm-hmm.
In the
That's crazy.
NFL or the CFL?
CFL.
How many seasons did he play?
A lot. I mean, he was like early 2000s to like 2020.
Flutie or Breeze?
Flutie?
Brees.
Oh,
Oh,
I thought you
okay,
said
okay.
Flutie.
I was like,
In
no
the NFL.
way.
No, in the NFL, it was Marino, Brees,
Yeah, I was like,
Brady, Stafford, Manning, Roethlisberger, Mahomes, Winston, and Herbert.
I was
They're the
I was
only
so
guys
confused. I was like,
who's thrown
I
for
know, I was
5,000
confused
yards.
too. I was like, I would have remembered if Flutie played till
I was like,
2020.
Doug Flutie played till 2022. I was like, no, he didn't.
Oh, I was talking about
I was,
Brees. I was like,
I was like, what the fuck?
no,
Like, Shane,
Flutie played
Cole-
late. He played
Cole-
2005 was his last year.
Cole,
Doug Flutie?
Shane, you guys have
Mhm.
anything to say about the Riders Stamps game?
No, honestly,
Trevor Harris, my guy. That's I'm all I've been saying.
Yeah, I mean, like, I agree. The Stampeders jumped on them early, had a 14-2 lead. The Riders took the lead before half, and it was so funny because, as I mentioned earlier in the show, again, this was another game where I was listening to on Sirius, and they had the Stampeders broadcast because it's in Calgary, of course. So they had Mark Stevens and oh gosh, Cole, who's his color guy?
I can't remember his name too either.
Yeah, but they had, and after the second Riders touchdown, they were talking about the Riders going for 2, and they were basically like, of course, full respect to both of those guys, but they were basically dumbfounded. They're like, I don't get it. Like, why are they going for 2? It's only the second quarter. And they were like trying to go over like the point differential and everything. And I was like, guys, with all due respect, like the game has changed. Like you see that quite often now where like teams want to go up by like a field goal or whatever instead of just kicking the extra point and going up by 2 points. But I know our other local boy, Jalen Philpott, had another game, but I I was kind of upset by that because I had Damien Alfred in fantasy. So like Dave Dickinson, if you wanna, and the old coordinators and stuff for the Stampeders, if you wanna coordinate with me next time, who your go-to guy is gonna be, it won't look so bad. But no, it was just like the Stampeders. They, other than that 5 minutes in the second quarter where the Riders took the lead and they took it going into halftime, like the Stampeders took the lead on the first drive of the third quarter and never really looked back. Like the Riders just couldn't get anything going. I know Roland Milligan got another pick, but like 3 plays later, Flo Rumilade, like the former Rider, got a pick for the Stamps that stuffed out any Riders' momentum, and the Stamps just kind of rolled to their, and that they've swept like the Stamps somewhat quietly. I mean, it's been heavily talked about sweeping the Bombers, but they only played the Riders twice this year. So they swept the Bombers, they swept the Riders. They're 5-0 in the Western Division. Like they still got a lot of Western games left because they play the Elks 3 times this year and the Lions twice. But right now they're 5-0 in the Western Division, and that could prove to be a huge tiebreaker coming down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, VA's been doing well, and if he can stay healthy and Alfred's back and Philpott's back, that team could
Yeah,
put
he
themselves in a
missed
really good
practice
spot over the
today,
next
but
couple of weeks.
He was just sick.
yeah, I saw Mark. I was just gonna say that Mark tweeted that he was feeling under the weather. So
Yeah.
I know when he
So
tweeted this morning, I was like, dude, what the hell? Like, what now? What? And then like he's like, oh, I'm not gonna have an update till after practice. I was like, what the hell? Like the guy just played.
yeah, well, he's just sick. Maybe he's a little
He's not
homesick.
he's not Superman. He can't fight germs either.
No, he can't. But yeah, I mean, what an exciting week of CFL football. And we're heading right into Labor Day. Season, as much as it always sucks to say the season doesn't start until Labor Day. I had the pleasure of talking to Luke Wilson before the Friday night game in Ottawa, and just talking about how like the West is wide open, right? Even the East, Hamilton hasn't really run away with it yet. Montreal is kind of stumbling
yeah,
along.
well, the thing about the West is like that if the Riders win both games of the Labor Day and the Banjo, and the Lions beat the Red Blacks, and let's say they, not likely, but it is possible. Let's say that the Elks sweep the Stampeders. Second to last would be separated by 1 game. The Stamps would be 7-5. The Blue Bombers, the Lions, and the Elks would all be 6-6.
Yeah, and like no one is running away with it in the East. Like Hamilton still has some serious holes on defense. Montreal needs to get healthy, and until they get healthy, expecting your fourth string quarterback to win games is not very reasonable. There's a reason why he was your fourth string to start the year. But even if they go Cameron Dukes or Shea Patterson, like that's great. You're on your fifth and sixth string. Good job. Not really expecting much to happen there. Ottawa doesn't want playoffs. They clearly showed that the last 2 weeks. They have no issue just playing until October and then going home for the winter. But then Toronto may be the only team that actually cares about making the playoffs this year in the East. Now, if they can get a win next week against Hamilton, they're 4-8. Things are mighty fine for them. But the West is a complete gong show, and unfortunately, we say it again, the season doesn't start until Labor Day because now every game from here on out has massive playoff implications.
Mhm.
It's just a weird year, as Blake said earlier. Like it's just
Yeah,
weird.
it's like the Riders, they're 8-2, but their 2 losses. Like very quickly, I'll go over the text I sent out. The Riders 8-2, but they've lost twice to the Stamps. Stamps 7-3, but they've lost twice to the Red Blacks. Like the Bombers 6-4, they got swept by the Stamps. The Lions are 5-6, they can't beat the Bombers or the Riders. The Elks lost their first 2 to the Lions, and then it's like Montreal's on their fourth string quarterback. Ottawa and Toronto are just like, who knows what you're getting. Well, it seems like you know more of what you're going to get from Ottawa than Toronto, and generally it's more not good than good. And Hamilton just like has been a streaky team this year because they lost their first 2 games, won 6 in a row, and then going into their bye last week, they lost the 2 before. So it's just
Embrace the chaos, boys.
yeah.
Great mechanics. We love it. But I'm curious. One thing I've noticed that generally NFL year, it usually means it's going to be a weird NFL year. With the NFL starting up next week, like I just,
Seahawks gonna win the NFC West.
I mean, that'd be great. That'd be kind of cool. Steelers win the AFC North. That'd be fun. Just getting demolished in the first round of the playoffs.
I mean,
Mike
I
Thomas
told
football.
the only way I'd be okay with them winning the AFC North is if the Ravens finish second and game back because I picked Lamar as my fantasy quarterback. But
I like my fantasy draft tomorrow.
He can
I
still
have
good.
Lamar. I'm annoyed.
Lamar can still do good. He just can't win, maybe, you know?
My issue with fantasy is that we were supposed to do.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Keepers this year.
Like, I'd be okay if they like finished a game back, and Lamar did really good all year. But you never know. Maybe the Dolphins will finally take the AFC East from the Bills.
5 straight years, brother. We're gonna make it 6.
I think honestly,
I
the Jets
was
might
just
have it
seeing
this
your
year.
reaction. But
I don't think I think the Jets might be a team to watch out for in the AFC.
Ha!
Shane, we didn't even go over the. We're done with week 12, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
We didn't even go over the CJFL. You want to run through those?
yeah, we can
scores
run through
quickly?
that real quick. I was going to do it after.
I know
but
West
we have
Shore
time,
unfortunately beat the Raiders again, and
unfortunately.
yeah,
I don't even want to go over the Sooners.
I was gonna say it. Talk about the
67-0, wasn't it?
74 zip.
Yeah, that's I mean, like
to be fair,
at some point, that's almost like disrespectful on St. Clair. Like after like 50,
Nah,
I would
fuck
just
that.
stop trying.
Nah, fuck that.
I mean, Blake, they probably did. Dead ass, Blake. They probably rolled their seconds after 50, and their seconds probably were
the
their
problem
seconds.
is the Sooners are still trying to rebuild.
Are the Sooners gonna win a game this year, Shane?
They should be Quinte
Right.
on Sunday. Like that should be a beatable game for them, and then obviously they should be able to beat beat GTA.
Yeah.
The problem with the Sooners though is that
How
they're
many teams make the playoffs out east?
4.
So would they be the 4 seed?
No.
How many teams are in general are there?
7.
So they'd probably finish 5th then.
Probably, yeah. The problem with the Sooners is that they're trying to rebuild. Like the Sooners had a really bad rap a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
The previous owners didn't give a crap about it. They basically just looked at it as a way to make money. Didn't actually care about putting a competitive team on the field, and didn't care about creating a competitive culture and creating a competitive environment. So the new owner has been trying to spend the last couple of years. He bought it right before COVID. He kind of took over right before COVID, so he's been trying to rebuild the program. As you know, sometimes rebuilding a program can take a couple of years. But unfortunately, this year is kind of that. They also had 4 of their top players age out, and then lost, I think, 3 of their returning players to Usports, or 3 of their big returning eligible players to Usports. But they're not good this year. That offensive line is horrendous. They have a defensive lineman playing they're playing a stack package with 5 linemen because they don't have an offensive line this year. So
Yeah.
Sooners are not going to be a good team this year.
What were the other scores?
But yeah, we'll go into Saturday. There were 6 games. There were 3 in the OFC, the Ontario Football Conference, and 3 in the BC Football Conference, or the BCFC. Hamilton Hurricanes beat the Sault Ste. Marie Cougars 24-15. The Quinte Skyhawks pick up their first win of the year against the winless GTA Grizzlies 35-0. The St. Clair Saints improved to 3-0 and have a remarkable, I think it was 156 point differential. They've only surrendered 1 point in 3 games so far. 74-0 to Ottawa, or they beat Ottawa 74-0. The Prince George Kodiaks beat the Kamloops Broncos 31-12. The Oakland Sun improved to 5-0, beating the Valley Huskers 48-7, and the West Shore Rebels improved to 4-1, beating the Vancouver Island Raiders 34-17.
Well, did you go to that game or no? Because it was in Victoria.
Unfortunately, I did not. I was planning on it, but it was the brother-in-law's birthday on Saturday night, so I had those are the things you can't get out of.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward for a lot of those results. I saw the scores and I knew Kamloops PG would probably beat Kamloops with the way they've been playing. Okanagan, maybe they'll lose a game, maybe not.
It's
And
going to be Okanagan versus St. Clair again this year, right? I think we're all on the same page.
well, Saskatchewan might have something to say about that.
I think it'll be Regina. I think it'll be Regina this year over Saskatchewan. I know Saskatchewan got a win, but I think Regina will come out of the PFC.
Well, it was in Ontario, so is it in Saskatchewan this year? Because it's
I
not
believe,
in BC. No, wait.
No, it's not, Blake. I believe it's OFC comes out to BC for the semifinals, and then Prairie's host.
So Shane is half correct. It would be St. Clair versus Okanagan in the Canadian Bowl semifinals, and then the winner would play the winner or the winner of the PFC.
Yeah.
So, but more likely than not, you are correct. It will be Okanagan and St. Clair in the semifinal, Shane.
They should just be that should be the Canadian Bowl final.
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to think how good Okanagan is, and their best player is not going to play for them this year.
Yeah, it's like
that's good. It means he's doing better than him.
It does for sure, but it's like they could have been that much scarier.
And then the PFC on Sunday, you had the Edmonton Huskies dropping to the Regina Thunder 57-7. The Saskatoon Hilltops beating the Winnipeg Rifles 42-15 to avenge their Week 1 loss. And then the Calgary Colts taking a win over the Edmonton Wildcats 19-15 to end the week. Only 6 games total this week because it looks like there's quite a bit of buys with the BCFC, or the PFC is taking a full buy. A full buy this week. So you have the St. Clair Saints against the London Beefeaters, which should be the OFC Championship.
I was going to say that was the OFC Championship last year, wasn't it?
Yep. So those two teams are both 3-0. The winner will be first. The GTA Grizzlies and the Hamilton Hurricanes are the Friday night games. And then Saturday, there's 3 games. They're all the BCFC. You got the West Shore Rebels going against the Langley Rams. The Prince George Kodiaks against the Vancouver Island Raiders. And the Kamloops Broncos against the Okanagan Sun. And then Sunday, right before Labor Day, you have the Ottawa Sooners going down to Belleville against the Quinte Skyhawks.
It's looking, especially in the BCFC, it looks like, I mean, for sure you can pencil Okanagan and West Shore into 2 of those 4 playoff spots. PG is slowly starting to make their way where you can almost pencil them in. And it looks like it's going to come down to, I mean, I know they lost again last week, so they're what now 1-4, Cole? Valley?
Valley's 1-4.
Yeah, so, but it looks like it's still going to come down to VI, the Rams, and Valley. I know the Rams already beat Valley once. They play, and then those 3 teams all play each other starting next week. Like the Rams go to Chilliwack to play Valley, and then the week after VI comes to McLeod Athletic and plays the Rams. So
I'm thinking about coming over for that game. I don't know if I told you, Blake, by the way.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
But you want to know how that is in the so St. Clair is plus 179 in 3
179 in 3 games.
3 games. They haven't given up. They've only given up 1 point.
Wow.
It was a single in Week 1 to Quinte. We should find the score for that game because that one was also kind of a disgusting.
My lord.
So they beat Quinte 56-1 in Week 1. Beat the Sooners 50-0 in Week 2.
God damn.
and then beat the Sooners 74-0 in week 3.
Well, shit.
Yeah, the Sooners are bad. St. Clair's also just a monster.
Sound like
Yeah,
it.
it's just
To be fair, St. Clair does nothing that any other team in the OFC do because they have the Bennett. Well, as of right now, I mean, Cougars should probably follow suit soon. But St. Clair, because they're attached to because they're part of a college, they're training all year. Like they're doing team stuff all year, and they're allowed because there's no regulations. There's realistically nothing stopping the Sooners from doing it, or GTA, or anyone like that.
Yeah, the Rams are pretty similar. Like they do a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. I don't know if it's contact, but they do stuff like team building and stuff like that in the
OTAs,
winter and the spring.
organized
Yeah,
team
exactly.
activities.
Like
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure the Saints they run a NCAA style program.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the Cougars are going to follow suit next year, where they're going to have you're going to have fall camp, and you're going to have spring camp.
If you guys haven't, I would encourage you guys to check out Forged by the Sun. It's like the Okanagan Sun's documentary for the season. It's like Last Chance U style. It's pretty cool. It's like you guys would
Don't
see
the
like
Sun do the same thing because they're also affiliated with the college?
they're not affiliated with a college, but they do train all year round. But that's kind of a typical thing in BC.
I thought they were affiliated with the college out there. Maybe not officially, but I thought they were more like
Kamloops is.
Yeah, and I know PG just announced it.
Yeah.
But I thought Okanagan was
isn't
like the first program to kind of connect with a college to create like a student athlete form.
No, maybe back in the day they were, but not anymore, not currently. They just have such a strong alumni basis. I think, like, I know Langley's had multiple different versions. Like they've been the South Surrey Rams, they've been the Big Casino Rams, they've been like a bunch of different versions. But I believe the Okanagan Sun, I think they're the longest tenured team in the BCFC. I think there's been a multiple versions of them as well. But like they just have such a strong, rich history where like whatever you want to call them, boosters, like their program is like very well funded, very well.
We haven't even gotten into. I know there's only 3, but we haven't even gotten into this week's games. Should we start talking about them?
Yeah, well, you want to talk about the CJFL, and I figured, yeah.
No. Like I think it's great that we talk about the CJFL. I'm just saying maybe we should move on now. That's all.
Yeah. Let's jump right into it. Only 3 games on the docket. We got Winnipeg and Saskatchewan on Sunday night at 7 p.m. And then Monday doubleheader, Labor Day Classics. You got the Toronto Argonauts heading over to Hamilton, and the Edmonton Elks going to Calgary. You guys start. Give me your picks for this
standings first.
I'm gonna go Sask. I'll get it out of the way first.
I'm going Sask.
Yeah, I feel like the Riders are a good club. I know Coach is a little bit frustrated, as I'm sure Rider Nation is, with like they haven't, I feel like, put together like that complete game yet, or maybe that like one game to cling to. Like that's us at our best. But at the same time, like they put themselves in a position to like, hopefully, if you're a Riders fan, get hot now. And to me, I just have more trust in the Riders versus Winnipeg, as I talked about earlier. Blake kind of talked about it too. I don't know what to expect from Winnipeg. I know Dembski's scheduled to be back. I saw he was practicing, I think, both days. Or I believe, actually, I guess today would have been their first day. But I think like they have like currently, I think like I saw was it Derek Taylor who was tweeting, or maybe it might have been even DB Darren Bombing. Like I think as of now they have like Gavin Cobb, a few of the other depth pieces like running with the first team offense. Obviously, we said earlier Stearns isn't going to play as well. So I feel like although Brady looked good last week, and that's obviously one thing that you always have to worry about is like if Brady's ever going to come on and start to look like the best player in the league. So I feel like on any given week he can do that and truly be the best player in the CFL. But I feel like I know what to expect from Saskatchewan, and I feel like they're going to be fired up for this one, especially coming off a loss that left a little bit of a sour taste in their mouth. So I'll go Riders.
Yeah, I'm Shane. You want to go, or do you want me to? Or do you want to recap standings first?
You go ahead. I'll get the standings for you in a second. I haven't had a chance. I've been doing so much with work and all the other the Usports and the CJFL stuff. I haven't had a chance to update the rankings from last week. So you go and
I was gonna say I noticed last week that the little standings ticker that you have at the bottom right, you updated that, but you didn't update like the bigger one
Yeah, I
beside our
know.
name. And I was like, oh, but anyways, no, I'll go with the Riders as well. Like we talked about it earlier in the show. Like these Labor Day Classics and Banjo Bowl, generally speaking, the home team wins. Like the home team wins both of those games. Like the Riders, I know last year I believe the Bombers swept because Lothar, and that's another thing that like Riders fans have to be scared of. But Lothar missed a kick at the end of the game. But it's like generally speaking, it's the home team that wins. And of course, Labor Day Classic is in Regina, Banjo Bowl's in Winnipeg. So this week I'm going to go with the Riders.
Yeah, I've been kind of tossing and turning around this game because I don't know. Seems like every time I put my faith into Trevor Harris, he bites me in the butt.
It's like Jeff Hoffman.
But yeah, exactly. Um,
Only Shane
but I
got
think
that
I'm going to go
reference.
Rough Riders here. I think they're the healthier squad. They should be able to take the W here. So I'm gonna go with Saskatchewan here too. But for the standings, because Blake so desperately wants the standings, Blake is first at 29-18. Cole is second at 27-20. Coach is at 26-21 after going 1-3 last week.
Fuck.
Because you took the Red Blacks.
Yeah. So myself, Cole, and Blake all went 2-2. The differential was you taking the Red Blacks over Edmonton.
I'm very aware of that.
So you went 1-3.
I just wanted to hear it. That's why I wanted you to go over the standings.
And then I am 25-22. So I'm a game back of Coach, 2 games back of Cole, and 4 games back of Blake.
Things are getting tight, boys. This is sweet.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Like I said, Blake, Bet Shell's coming for you in about 6 or 7 weeks, bud.
Nope, it's not happening. I have my crown now, and I'm not taking it off.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we're all gonna have Saskatchewan.
Roger sweep.
We have Saskatchewan sweep this week. So
Monday.
game number 2, Toronto at Hamilton.
I think this is a tough one. I'm not going first because I went first strategically last time. So whoever wants to go first, I'm curious to see what the group has to say.
I'll go first. Like I think Hamilton's gonna win this game. This is another one where like I love Labor Day weekend in the CFL because it seems like the weird happens every year. Like last year, the Tiger Cats were what, like 2-8, 2-9 going into this game, and this was he who shall not be named first game back. The Argos weren't like they weren't world beaters at that point, but they weren't terrible either. They were 5-4, and Hamilton won the game. So like the potential for upset is there, but I just don't trust Toronto's defense. Like we talked about it earlier, like their offense won them the game. Like the Lions still scored 34 points. Like the defense didn't win. Yeah, I know Benji Franklin had a pick six, and they also had a fumble recovery as well. But the defense didn't win them that game. Like the offense has not been the problem for the Toronto Argonauts this season. It has been the defense and special teams. And I just think Hamilton has too many weapons. Mitchell, Lawler, Tim White, like, and then the running back like Isaiah Wooden. I haven't seen a practice. Well, I guess they haven't even practiced yet with the game being on Monday, but not sure if he's going to be back. But it's just I feel like Hamilton's offense has too many weapons, and their special teams might make a special player too that puts them over the top.
Yeah, Coach, go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hamilton on this one. I'm not sold on Toronto as far as can they put it all together. I know that last week's game was like a big breakout game for Arbuckle, but pick your poison at receiver. Who you gonna stop? Who you gonna stop when it comes to Hamilton? I think it's gonna be a good game, but I'm gonna roll with Hamilton.
Cool.
I got Hamilton 2. I was curious to see. I thought honestly Blake was going to go Toronto. Maybe just because I thought he'd have it in his mind with the Lions last week. But I tend to think that as we usually do, we tend to hype up all three of the games, especially with it being Labor Day weekend. And I feel like this game will tend to live up to like the hype the most because of what we can expect. I feel like we talked about it on the show last week, right? I think it was last week or maybe even 2 weeks ago. Like Nick Arbuckle has been very impressive, super quietly this year, and has definitely earned himself like more future opportunities, considering where he was like last year, coming off the couch for the Argos, Grey Cup MVP, all that sort of stuff. So I definitely thought Blake was going to lean towards Toronto, which was going to make me a little bit more happier to go with Hamilton, since I could have had maybe an opportunity to slide one up on him. But I'm going to go with Hamilton as well because I feel like they'll be able to score more points in Toronto, and this will be a high-scoring shootout game where the other two games will probably be lower-scoring, defensive, kind of strategic type games.
Shane?
I'm going to go with Toronto here. I think their offense has been humming. I still think there's serious issues with Hamilton's defense. Polk is expected to be back. He's expected to play. He's expected to be part of the offense. And that offense was dangerous last week, and they have weapons. You know, their running game seems to be getting going. I think it's going to be a battle of which defense can be better.
Stop.
I don't know. I think Toronto. You know, Hamilton will have the home field, obviously, but I think Toronto they smell blood in the water, and just like last year, they can take advantage of it. So I'm going Toronto here.
Yeah, last game of the week. It's only
Last game, the Elks versus the Stamps. I'm gonna go I'll go first this time. I'm gonna say the Stamps. I think they're healthy. They have the receivers. Adams is playing at a very good level. Alfred is looking like a legit number one receiver. Philpott is looking as like a legit receiver when he's healthy. Running game is good. Defense is fine. I'm curious on if Big Hill gets in this weekend. But overall, I think Calgary's just a better team, and I think Fajardo being able to milk some games is coming to an end, especially against this defense.
I'll go next. Sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
I think I'm gonna roll with Calgary. I think the thing that is gonna be backbreaking for Edmonton is taking away Cody's ability to run. I think the Calgary's defense will be able to go sideline to sideline, be able to close those gaps, and be able to keep Cody in the pocket and force him to throw interceptions, but also throw bad passes and break them up. So I'm gonna go with Calgary on that one, only because of that.
I'll go next. My heart says to go with Edmonton, but my head says to go with the Stamps, and I'm gonna follow my head on this one. Maybe I'll get screwed over. I don't know, because it seems like every year that's what happens. Like there's always one team that, like, in a pick'em, like what we do, screws you over no matter what you do. And Calgary seems to be that team this year, because for the longest time, none of us would pick Calgary. They kept winning. We started picking Calgary. They lost to Montreal and Ottawa after VA got hurt. We picked Calgary again, or we picked against them again, and they won. So, like, I think that Calgary is the better team here. They should win. And I hope they do, because for nothing else, like, if Edmonton pulls off the upset, I know the Lions have the tiebreaker, but they're tied for that last playoff spot, like that crossover spot. They have a 2-game lead on Ottawa and Toronto right now, but they have a half-game lead on the Elks. So if the Elks win this game, the Lions could theoretically be out of a playoff spot by the end of next week. And we've already talked about, like, how the Labor Day, like, the season starts for real. Like, it's the Stampeders are trying for first. They're gonna be pissed off as well. Let's not forget, like, the Elks weren't good last year, and they still swept Calgary in 3 games, not just 2. In 3 games, they won Labor Day, they won the rematch, and they won later on in the season. So the Stampeders, like VA, he hasn't really been a part of Labor Day because like he bounced around like Montreal and like BC and whatever, but like those teams don't play in Labor Day. Like he doesn't know what it's like to be a part of Calgary or Edmonton or Saskatchewan or Winnipeg, like even Cody does with all those years with Saskatchewan. So I think VA is going to be pumped up to play this game. Um, I don't think I'm going to go with Damien Alfred in fantasy again, but we'll see what happens. Like that receiving core is scary, especially if Jalen Philpott reaches his full potential. And I know the Elks are on a 3-game win streak. They kept it close in the 2 losses before that, but I think just Calgary's too good for them. I'm gonna go with the Stamps.
Look how far we've came, boys. Now we're separating our heart from our heads. We're going with Calgary over Edmonton.
Does that
I
mean
was
you're
gonna
going
mention
with
that.
Edmonton?
No, fuck
Okay.
no, fuck no, hell no. I had my little rant on Edmonton last week. I'm so out on them, but like obviously they're doing well, so it's nice. I just think like that defense, man, is a game changer. I tweeted about Calgary and like being wrong about them, and like yeah, their offense has been great. I think Vernon Adams deserves to be in MOP conversations. I think Maury Alford deserves to be in. Damien Alford, excuse me, deserves to be in like or the way he was playing deserved to be in like rookie of the year conversations about most outstanding Canadian. Like their defense, man, that was where I thought like would be Calgary's downfall this year was like that their offense would be high powered, but their defense would be an absolute what would just look like they did last year. And they did a complete 360, especially with like they didn't bring in like too many like bigger name pieces. They lose Mike Rose, which is like a big name piece, so it's like you didn't really replace him.
Lost Mike Holloway as well.
Demario Houston. They trade Cam Judge to Toronto, so it's like some weird things that kind of you're like, man, like their defense is gonna suck. But is it number 97 Shane? Who's Justin? I forget his last name, but he's been fantastic for them in the interior. I think he has like 6 or 7 sacks as a defensive tackle for
6
them right now.
sacks, yeah. He's
Um,
tied for the league lead.
yeah, no, I think Berglund has 8 now, so I think he's 1 or 2 behind.
Oh yeah,
Berglund, but
I think you're right. Berglund has 8, and then the one of the Toronto guys and the Stampeder guys are tied for second now
but
with 6.
they're just pairing it well with like getting to the passer as well as like good coverage where like maybe they don't get a passer in the play and their defensive back, their secondary is able to take the ball away. If they're able to get to the passer, they're getting to them and taking them down. And that's where, as coach said, I think they're gonna get after Cody and be able to, get him off his reads, fluster him. As coach said, he thinks they'll be able to contain him as a runner. And I think that's where it's gonna be like it'll show where this is gonna be maybe a little bit of like a defensive, slower slog type game and Vernon Adams and Calgary ends up pulling off maybe like a 24-14 win or something like that. But I got Calgary. I think there's kind of levels to this until Edmonton proves that they can belong with Calgary and Saskatchewan and Winnipeg. I feel like they tend to believe more towards what BC is, which is like one game forward or one or two steps forward and then like 3 steps back. I know they're on a win streak right now, but I feel like that's coming to an end.
Yeah, but you also got to remember that in that win streak, they beat a very bad McLeod Bethel Thompson / Caleb Evans, a Toronto Argonauts team that up until last week was a dumpster fire, and the Ottawa Red Blacks. Like I
Yeah, I
said,
know.
I know they played better in the 2 losses before that against Saskatchewan and Hamilton, but before this win streak, it was the same old story. Like the Elks played well enough to win, made one too many mistakes that they ended up losing.
I agree with you, buddy. That's why we're going with Calgary.
Facts over feelings, right?
But Coach, you
Damn
went with
right.
Calgary as well, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
I went with
Oh
Calgary.
yeah.
So the only difference this week, just like last week, there's only one difference.
Shane.
I'm taking Toronto. Everyone else is taking Hamilton. This either I will be tied with coach after next week or I'll be down 2 games.
So
Dun,
we'll
dun,
see.
dun.
So,
But,
if I'm tied with coach, he's going to be real mad about it.
we
Right.
made it, boys. Like I know we were talking about earlier, like how it sucks the summer's over, but the other side of that coin is like we've talked about it all season up until this point. Like the real fun starts now. Like college football started last week. It's in full swing this week. High school football starts next week. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like I love summer. Like I'm a summer guy over winter, but fall
Give me
is
fall.
definitely a close summer,
And
second to
like,
summer.
You can
you know,
smell it, feel it.
no,
Usports as well. Like
You feel
I
it.
was hoping. I was
Yeah.
actually kind of disappointed because I know UBC plays tomorrow night, and I'm unavailable. Like I was hoping they played Friday, and I could have gone to that game on Friday, but they play tomorrow night, which is unfortunate. But
hey,
Hey,
and
big shout out to Theo and Gio for making the
I
53
was
man
gonna
this year,
say,
man.
yeah,
Huge shout out. Sick job for
and
the boys.
and Theo might be starting week 1.
He could, I know, which is
insane,
sick, man.
insane. On the O line or on the O line, right?
At left tackle, man.
Yeah, he might be starting left tackle, which
He's
crazy.
one of four. He's one of 4 guys right now in the battle for their left tackle starting job. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll be protecting QB1, man, which is crazy to think about. But wishing
good for
Gio,
those
Theo,
two.
obviously the best. Obviously all the rest of the Canadians in the NFL, and even some of the guys that got cut. Hopefully they land on some practice rosters. I know, like
Well,
some that we
I know
talked about.
Shane earlier mentioned Algersma, I believe, because he passed through waivers, and I
He did,
believe
yeah.
he signed with
No,
the. I thought I saw he signed with the Packers practice squad.
No,
no,
they're
he did
keeping it
not.
open. They're keeping it
Oh, okay.
open
They want a
for a more
veteran.
veteran presence.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he won't go. I think they want to see if there's anyone that kind of falls through over the next little while.
Yeah. So
But it sounds like he's not going to be rushing for a decision. Same with Aju. And some of the other guys. Elliot Brown, the former Elk, is on the Cardinals practice squad.
yeah.
So and then I think we saw did both the Buffalo guys get released? I know one of them did.
Yeah, so Shan got released. I was talking to a few people from Buffalo, like some of the guys from the beat. They thought they were hopeful to see Paris Shan back on the practice roster. He did not, so he has still remained unclaimed. He's obviously the Argos' second-round pick, I believe. Might even
Yeah.
been their first-round pick. I can't remember, the defensive lineman from LSU. And then Hayden Harris, he got waived with an injury settlement. He's dealing with a hamstring injury, which is the BC Lions' first-round pick. But he is, I think, on the patient side, I think, as well. So I think it was Lions Den who tweeted out, like, oh man, like Makai Polk's coming back and seeing some of these guys. I think it was Jake Julian signed with the Elks today.
Yeah.
He
Signed
did.
through 2027.
Because Grace
Yeah,
got hurt in last week's game.
Yeah, so a few guys coming back from the NFL, and Lions Den tweeted like, "Oh man, like it sucks that the Lions have nobody back," and I would tend to agree with that. Hayden Harris would probably be a guy to keep an eye on. Shane, is there like a deadline? Like, can they come back? Like,
They can come
no.
back whenever they want.
So it'd be interesting to
They can
keep
come
an eye
back
on
to the
because
playoffs if they wanted to.
yeah, from what I understood was that there's not a practice roster spot available for Hayden Harris, but he wants to get healthy first before I feel like seeking out his options. So we don't really know anything more than that. So I would think that he's kind of like a see you next year type of guy for the Lions, and even could be like a see you next 2 years, like where he wants to maybe try to go to the NFL, get a shot in a training camp, and then he kind of like it's another you don't see him until August, right? So who
I
knows what
believe
happens with.
Cole, you might know better than I did, but didn't Curtis Rourke make the 53 for the Niners?
No, so he's still technically not healthy because
Yeah, he's on the physically unable, non-football physically unable to perform list.
he
So
was. I
they
think
haven't cut him, but he's not
No.
on the
he's on the
roster
team.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Because
He
he's
was.
not
we didn't
expected
even-
back till like October at the earliest.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right,
he
because he
was.
tore his
He was.
ACL. Yeah.
He was hopeful to like be doing like maybe like some like strength and conditioning at training camp. I don't believe I saw or heard anything of him on the field at all. So obviously he tore his ACL and I think he played on it and then I think
Yeah, he did in the college football playoff.
yeah. So
Well, he tore it
obviously
early in the year. He tore it like week 4.
Yeah, and he
yeah.
played the whole season.
Yeah.
So I would
we
think
didn't
this is
even-
kind of like a red shirt season for him in a way, right? Where he's able to like learn the scheme and what Kyle Shanahan has in store for him, and hopefully like year 2 you're kind of able to, especially with like versus Algersma, right? Like he has draft capital. He's a 7th round pick versus Algersma, like the EDFA guy. It's, as much as I hate to say it, like those weird petty things do kind of matter in the NFL, especially with like.
Unfortunately for Rourke, his age is going to hurt him.
Yeah,
For sure.
He'll be 25 in October.
And they're in two places where you're going to need that time to get the system down, because Matt LaFleur's West Coast offense, though under the Shanahan tree, is a lot different than what Kyle Shanahan does. Kyle Shanahan's is more patience, more based on the run, where LaFleur's is more timing based. So
it's a bummer that Algersma couldn't land in the Packers. I feel like it's a good system for him to, like, if he could get on the practice roster, you have the whole season to kind of like learn it. And like, is it Malik Willis who's QB2, I think, right now for
I
Green
think
Bay?
that's why they wanted a more veteran presence,
Because they're young. And like Sean Clifford was the other guy who was in contention for them. He was like the guy that they didn't bring back as well. And it's like, I don't want to sound like I'm a freaking Canadian, even though I am, but for my money's worth, like I'll take Taylor Algersma about 9 times out of 10, even 10 times out of 10 over Sean Clifford. So I feel like if they were in a different situation where they had a veteran backup, he's probably the guy that maybe is in that contention to have a practice roster spot that can like develop. Now he's hoping to find somewhere to develop and then have to learn everything again. So it's a good situation for Curtis, right? But I do agree with you guys that the age will definitely the opportunity, the leash, I guess, will be a lot shorter.
Yeah, because it's literally Jordan Love and Malik Willis, and Jordan Love and Malik Willis are both 26. To be fair, Jordan Love is entering his 6th year, Malik Willis is entering his 4th year. They're still very young, so.
Hey,
Guys, we didn't even talk about the biggest news of the week.
What?
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Oh my God.
Is Zach Collaros?
I should have known with that little corny.
Going to be in the wedding party?
Wrap it up.
Probably, he's like best friends with them.
Yeah, he might be a groomsman.
T Swift, T Swift Grey Cup. That's what they're gonna do.
All right. It's time to go. Damn it, Blake.
T Swift Grey Cup party.
All right, let's wrap it up. I got things.
T Swift halftime show. She does the Grey Cup in November and then the Super Bowl in February.
God damn you, Blake.
I'm just saying, that'd be sick.
They ain't got the money for all that.
We don't.
Collaros can use his charm. It's fine.
Honestly, the CFL would ride the coattails of that for so long. They'd be like, "Oh, look at this! Zach was part of the wedding party. Oh my gosh!"
I mean, everybody else does it, so I mean,
I mean,
anyways.
Yeah. All right. Let's.
I just wanted to see your guys' reaction to that.
Hey man, good for them, man. They deserve happiness and love. So shout out to them and hope that like their relationship is healthy and whatnot. So
peace and love, man.
Yeah, just like all our relationships are healthy and happy. Yeah. Hopefully they have the same one. They have a long, healthy, happy marriage. So
yeah.
It's just funny
or they get divorced and Taylor just
got a ring
has
before
some
Josh
bangers
Allen.
come out.
I mean, like, I don't want that, but
nobody wants Josh Allen.
That would mean we'd have a sad Travis Kelce, and nobody wants that.
So. I do, Blake. I'm a Bills fan. I wouldn't mind a sad Travis Kelce.
How do you feel about T Swift getting a ring before Josh Allen then?
Josh Allen has a ring. He's a married man.
And she bad too. That's a bad.
Yeah, talk about it, coach. Yeah,
Haley Steinfeld.
That's a fine woman right there, boy. Ooh.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Let's go home.
That's a horrible movie. Movie.
But she's nice in it.
She's good in it, but the movie itself is horrible. That entire thing is horrible.
But
anyways,
wait. Before we leave, should we just dub next week's show Blake's birthday show? Is that what we're doing?
No,
not that special.
Your birthday.
Oh, man.
Nobody say happy birthday to him now.
No.
Yeah. No one on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. Just ghost him. No, what day is it? He's gonna be like, it's my birthday. He's gonna post a screenshot of the balloons on his profile.
Nah, I ain't like that. But...
Yeah, you gotta know that on your birthday, if you go on your profile on X, it shows up as balloons.
I know. I'm just saying I don't.
Well, I'm trying to call, not you. Because you seem like you didn't know that. So, but are you gonna make a birthday post for yourself though?
No. Why would I make a birthday post for myself?
I don't know. You seem like that type of guy. Hashtag blessed to T28.
No. Like, just no.
Made it to 28. God is good.
There you go.
Whatever. So,
All right,
all
guys.
right.
And
Thank you all
love
for
that.
tuning in on this week's CFL Weekly Show. Remember to hit that like, subscribe, follow button. Hit that bell to make sure you have notifications on for every weekly show. Enjoy this week's Labor Days Classic. We'll catch you back here next week, next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Make sure to join us for more entertainment, more football talk. Enjoy your week.
Rams gonna pull off the upset.